I did interview Roger Earl.
I know you sent me a Foghat ID.
Yeah, I did chat with Roger Earl. He was fun.
Yeah, did you ask him any pointed questions?
Not too much, really. I mean, dude, this is going to sound terrible, and I don't mean it to because he was super nice. But when you interview these older guys, they're just a little slower. Not mentally slower, but
Yeah,
response-wise.
Yeah, they don't, they're not.
Yeah, they're not just like, you can't ask them, hey, tell me about Slow Ride. Well, Slow Ride they're not, it's like, tell me about Slow Ride. And he's like, yeah, I think that was like 1975, wasn't it? And it's him getting the wheel churning.
Right.
And then he gets going.
It gets methodical about it.
Yeah. But very nice guy. I'll tell you one cool thing about him. We did talk about that show that they played in Korea. And he did remember that show.
Oh, yeah. We did talk about that.
Yeah. So we talked about that. I told him the story and whatever. And the interview ends. And at the end of it, he was like, he asked me if I wanted tickets or passes or whatever to go to the show. Next month, May 6th. And I was like, yeah.
Is that at the MGM?
No, it's down in Akron at the Goodyear.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The Goodyear Theater.
Goodyear Theater. So I said to him, I said, I'm going to come to that show and I'm going to show you this photo that I took with you at Yongsan at the base, back in 1980, whatever year it was, 88. And he goes, that would be really cool. That would be great to see. And he goes, in fact, do you think you could send me that picture? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, we're in the middle of putting together a book about Foghat and, we're collecting pictures. If you could send me that picture, I'll put it in the book. I was like, shit, yes. So it looks like I might make another entry into a book in the Foghat book.
How did you happen to have this photo? I thought you misplaced most of all your photos and shit.
Because I had sent it to my mom. I have this collection, and anybody wants to go to my Facebook, they can see. I have about 35 pictures from my Army time. And these were pictures that I sent home to my mom, like doubles or whatever of my pictures. Because what you remember, very true. There was a moment with the ex-wife where the pictures ended up in the trash, but like 3 or 4 albums worth of pictures. But
all right.
But my mom had some pictures, and she had, when I got divorced and I was whining the blues about her taking all the pictures and not letting me have any, she gave me a whole bunch of pictures of me in the Army and pictures of my kids and, that kind of shit, so that I would have some. And this is just one of those photos that I do have, is me and Roger Earl at the convenience store on on South Post at Yongsan Army base.
Nice.
So it looks like I'll be in the Foghat book, maybe.
All right.
That'll be cool.
The Foghat book.
The Foghat book. We get into the weirdest bullshit, don't we?
That's just funny.
It is funny.
It is funny. I mean, I met Roger back in I think it was around 89. I think it was about 89. Yeah, I believe it was 89. They were out on tour. I don't recall, but they were touring around and touring clubs, and they came through the club that I worked at and played there. And trying to think who was in the band. It was him, and I think it was that McGregor guy. I think it was
Craig McGregor.
Yeah, I think that was him. And then they had a different singer, but it was 2 of the original guys,
as they always do, right?
Yeah, because Dave Peverett was out doing his own version of Foghat at the same time,
right?
Because then I don't know what happened to the 4th guy or what he was doing at the time. But anyway, we had both versions of Foghat roll through the club at one point or another.
Okay.
And okay. They were okay guys.
Yeah.
From what
again, Roger was
them.
very nice. I mean, chatting with him, and I think, did we have him on once before?
I don't recall speaking to him. The only time that I recall having anybody to do with Foghat on was having
Charlie Hune
on the show.
I think we also had the other Foghat guy, because Scott Clark asked us, Tony Stevens Foghat.
Yeah, I think we
interviewed him too.
We may have gotten hooked up with him.
Yeah. But yeah, I would swear I've interviewed him before, but I couldn't find it though. I couldn't find it even on the old channel or anything. So whatever. Nice guy. I was very happy to speak with him. So now the circle is complete. I interviewed 162 years of life in 2 interviews for that one show between him and Pete Agnew.